Well, hello, Paula and friends. This is Sandra Boyette from Hamilton, Alabama, and it is a glorious day here. The humidity's low, the weather's about 88 degrees, there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's just wonderful. And it's a great day for us to have a Philadelphia cream cheese salmon cheesecake. So we're going to get started on that, and I'm going to show you how this all goes together, and I think you're all going to really love it. So we're going to get started with our crust. I've got just a mini food processor here, and I'm using some crackers that are wheat-based, made with sesame seeds, and I've got about a cup and a fourth in here, kind of crumbled just a little bit, and we're going to add some butter, and this is 1/4 of a cup of butter, and we're going to pulse that a few times, and then we're going to press that into our pan. If I can get the top on, we'll move right along with our little process. There we go. Alright, we're going to chop it just a little, get her going. There she goes. We want to make sure that all the big chunks of crackers get down in there. Alright. I've got one holdout. There he went. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's take this up. And we're just going to break this off into our springform pan. And this is a 9-inch springform pan, and I have buttered the sides and the bottom generously because I want it to come out, you know, really smooth on the sides and look pretty for presentation. This is going to be our appetizer for this evening, and I'm going to serve it with some extra crackers, and it is just a delightful appetizer. And I guess you could do it individually if you wanted to, but it's a lot easier this way, and it's not quite as time consuming. Now I'm just going to press this evenly into the bottom of our springform pan, and you can see that I have used this pan. I love it. It's my favorite one. It's got a nice firm bottom. It doesn't give on me. It doesn't bulk when it starts getting hot. Now I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees, and it's going to be waiting on me when we get ready. We're going to press this in, and we're going to set it to the side because we're going to go ahead and put our filling together, and it bakes all at one time, so you don't bake the crust separately. Now this is a wonderful recipe, and I'll tell you a few things about my salmon and stuff as we get started, and I think it's going to be easy enough, and the ingredients are going to be available enough for everybody to give it a try. And I'm pushing it up on the sides about an inch or so that we'll have just a little bit of crust that'll be showing on the sides when it comes out. And it'll be beautiful. And the crackers smell wonderful. I wish you could smell those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this over to the side, and then I'm going to gather together the ingredients for my filling, and we're going to put that together, pour it up, put it in the oven, and I'll let you see what it looks like when we get all done. So I'll be right back with my filling. Well, here we are with all the ingredients assembled for our filling. And I've got 16 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese in here. And you know, you can do this with a mixer, an electric mixer, but I'm just going to do it all with a whisk and put it in there by hand because I think it's easy enough to do. And it saves me cleaning up. It's one step that I don't have to clean up. Now it calls for 2 eggs, 2 whole eggs, and we're going to put those in at one time. Now I just love my eggs, and I'm sure that you may have already heard me talk about my eggs because I have some layers. We do not have a rooster in the hen house, but I always check just to make sure that the eggs look good. And I guess that's my personal preference, but I think that, you know, instead of taking a chance on something getting, you know, ruined by a bad egg, that I'll just crack them one at a time and put them in because they need to go in one at a time so you can incorporate everything very nicely. And so this is easy enough to stir up with this. And when I get to the final thing, when I just start folding things in, I'll get rid of the whisk so things doesn't get caught up into the little prongs so badly. Alright, let's do our second egg. Now everybody that I've ever served this to, they're just gorgeous. Those are gorgeous eggs, that's all you can say. I love them. Let's think. We're going to mix that one in. And when the eggs get incorporated, it gets a lot easier for your stirring process. It gets thinner. It becomes this really pretty light yellow color. Now my cream cheese was very soft, so I don't really have to worry about clumps and lumps in my cream cheese because when it is soft like that, it's just about like velvet anyway. So that looks wonderful. Now then, we're going to start with some of our ingredients. First of all, we need some zest, zest of 1 lemon. So I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to juice this same lemon because we need about a tablespoon or so of lemon juice, and this feels like a nice plump lemon, so I'm going to use about half of it and kind of see what that looks like. You know, I don't know if it's the same way at your house as it is mine, but sometimes I get lemons and limes that just don't have a lot of juice in them, and then some are just very juicy. So you just kind of have to, you know, measure it, look at it, and see, you know, and it's not rocket science. So, you know, in a dish like this with the eggs binding everything together and the cream cheese baking, if you've got a little extra juice, it won't be that of an important thing. So now we've zested it. I always zest before you juice, because if you juice first, then it's almost impossible to zest. So I'm just going, there's a seed, let's go ahead and get that out. And I'm just going to use my little handheld juicer. And I do think that half of it is going to be enough. It was a very juicy lemon, but it also had some seeds. So let me just get those out real quick. Put those over into the sink. I always have to remember to try to get those out when they get down in the disposal. My goodness, it sounds like a freight train coming. Okay, I think that looks good. So let's just give this a little bit of a stir. Oh my goodness, that's nice. It smells great already. So get that all incorporated. Lemony, oh, it's going to be wonderful. Put that there. Dill, which just adds to the flavor of the lemon. I mean, everything's going to come together so great. I've got about 1/4 cup of chopped chives. Now you can use green onions if you prefer, but I like the taste of chives. And we've got about 2 tablespoons of capers that I've chopped, because I think all those flavors just go great together. So I'm just blending those in, just like this, making a great base for my smoked salmon. Alright, one more thing here. Let's put 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. That looks good. Let's fold that in. As you can see, this is a great, simple, easy recipe, and I promise you, you're going to love it. Just give it a try. Anybody can do this. Anybody. The girls at my clinic, I just can't hardly get any of them to cook at home. They all want to go through the drive-thru, and they've done this dish, and they were very successful with it, because it's just almost impossible to mess it up. Now then, our salmon. Now, you may be able to get smoked salmon where you live, and I can get some smoked salmon, but I like my consistency a little bit more flaky, and so that I can just crumble it up. So what I've done is taken a wild-caught salmon fillet, and I have put that on my stovetop in a little smoker. It's just a little stainless steel smoker that you put wood chips in the bottom of, and it has a grate that you put the meat or whatever on. And it took about 20 minutes to smoke that whole side, and then I cooled it, and I've just flaked it up here. But now, if you can't find that, you can always use a 15-ounce can of cooked salmon, just canned salmon in the grocery store. Drain it very well and flake it up, and you can use that salmon in your dish, and it will be as good. We prefer a real smoky flavor, so smoking this, and I use some oat chips and some Adler chips, and it really has a nice aroma that's coming off of it right now. Actually, the whole house smells like smoke, and it's just a delightful smell for this time of the year. Usually you think about those smells in the wintertime. Now what I'm going to do, there's 2 cups here, and I'm just going to put that in, and I'm going to gently fold that in also. As you can see, this is a very hearty appetizer, and we're going to serve it with some bruschettas and some of the crackers that we've made the crust out of, maybe a few fresh vegetables just to kind of nibble on around the sides of it, you know, because everything is so fresh right now that this is just absolutely beautiful. And I certainly hope y'all try it. There's only a few things that, you know, everybody keeps in their armament that they really love to pull out, and that they want to impress people, that they go to. It's their kind of go-to food. Well, you know, this is one of my go-tos. If I really want to impress my company coming over, and you know, like we've got a good wine or something like that, I'll make this dish, and everybody's just always in love with it. You can see how easy it's been. Now we've just poured that right into our springform pan that's got our sesame seed wheat crust pressed into the bottom, and we're going to just spread that. And it's just beautiful. Look how pretty it is. I can't wait for you to see it when it comes out of the oven. Now this dish takes a little bit of cooling time and refrigeration time. So we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to bring it out in about 30-35 minutes, and we're going to cool it for a couple of hours, and then we're going to refrigerate it for a couple of hours. So you can really do this the night before you plan on serving it, and it's perfect. So we're going to put this in the oven, and we're going to show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven, and then we're going to start our cooling process. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Well, here we are with the finished product. It cooled for about 2 hours, and then it was in the refrigerator for a couple hours. And so if you want to do it overnight, it's just perfect for to have the next day. But this is how beautiful it looks. And you just take it and you cut it off in slices, and they spread it on their crackers, a few grapes, a few strawberries, garnished with a little bit of dill. It is just a wonderful, wonderful appetizer, and I think you're all going to love it. And as everything I always finish, no matter what I'm doing, find something that you love and share it with somebody. Thanks a lot, and I'll see y'all next week.